Have you ever wondered about the most powerful things humans have ever created? Well, near the top of that list you'll find nuclear weapons. These are not your everyday bombs. They are special devices that release a tremendous amount of energy from a very small amount of matter. Think of it like this. Inside the tiny, tiny core of an atom, there is a huge amount of stored energy. Nuclear weapons are designed to unlock that energy all at once in a massive, explosive burst. It's a process that taps into the very building blocks of our universe, which is both fascinating and, let's be honest, a little scary. There are two main ways to make this happen. The first is called nuclear fission. This is where you take a large, unstable atom like uranium or plutonium and split it apart. When it splits, it releases a lot of energy and also sends out little particles that go on to split other atoms. This creates a chain reaction, like a line of dominoes falling one after another, but much, much faster and with a lot more power. It's this rapid, uncontrolled chain reaction that creates the giant explosion. It's a powerful demonstration of physics in action, showing how much energy is packed into the atomic nucleus. The other type of nuclear weapon uses a process called nuclear fusion. This is the same process that powers our sun and all the stars in the sky. Instead of splitting atoms apart, fusion smashes them together. It usually involves taking very light atoms, like special types of hydrogen, and forcing them to combine under incredible heat and pressure. When they fuse, they form a heavier atom and release even more energy than fission does. Most modern nuclear weapons actually use a fission bomb just to create enough heat to start a fusion reaction. It's a bomb that lights another, even bigger bomb. So, when we talk about a nuclear weapon, we're talking about something that harnesses the fundamental forces of the universe. It's not just a big bang. It's an event that releases immense heat, a blinding flash of light, and a powerful shock wave that can travel for miles. It also releases something invisible and dangerous radiation. This isn't just a bigger version of a regular bomb, it's a completely different kind of force, one that changes the environment in a way that nothing else can. Understanding this is the first step to understanding their power. Now you might be picturing a single person with their finger hovering over a big red button. The real process is a little more complicated than that, and for a very good reason. Because these weapons are so powerful, countries have created very careful systems to control them. These systems are designed to make sure that no single person can just decide to launch a nuclear weapon on a whim. The control is usually shared among several people. This idea is often called two-man control, where at least two individuals have to agree and perform separate actions to launch a weapon. It's a built-in safety check. Think about a submarine deep under the ocean, carrying nuclear missiles. The captain can't just decide to launch them. There would be another officer, perhaps a weapons officer, who also has a key or a code. They would both need to receive a verified order from the highest level of their government. Then they would have to turn their keys or enter their codes at the same time. These systems are designed to be robust and to prevent accidents or unauthorized use. The goal is to make it a deliberate, verified and collective decision, not a rash individual one. The people involved in this chain of command are highly trained military personnel. From the soldiers guarding the missile silos buried in the ground to the pilots in bombers and the sailors on submarines, everyone has a specific job. They practice these procedures over and over again so that they know exactly what to do if an order ever comes. They are trained to follow orders without question, but also to follow the very strict rules and protocols that govern the use of these weapons. It's a job with an incredible amount of responsibility, probably the most serious responsibility anyone could have. The final decision, however, usually rests with one person, the leader of the country. In the United States, that person is the president. In other countries, it might be the prime minister or a ruling committee. This leader has the ultimate authority to give the launch order. They are often accompanied by a military aide who carries a special briefcase, sometimes called the nuclear football. This briefcase doesn't have a button, but it contains the communication tools and codes needed for the leader to identify himself and transmit the launch order to the military commanders. So, which countries have this incredible power? As of today, August 3rd, 2025, there are 9 countries in the world that are confirmed to have nuclear weapons. This group is often called the Nuclear Club. The first 5 countries to develop these weapons are the United States, Russia, the United Kingdom, France, and China. These 5 are also part of a big international agreement called the Non-Proliferation Treaty, where they have agreed to work towards getting rid of their weapons while other countries agree not to develop them. It's a complicated deal, but it's the main global effort to control the spread of these weapons. After those first 5, 4 other countries have developed and tested nuclear weapons. These are India, Pakistan, and North Korea. These 3 countries are not part of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. India and Pakistan, who are neighbors and have a history of conflict, both developed their weapons in the latter half of the 20th century. North Korea is the most recent country to join the club, having conducted its first nuclear test in 2006. Its nuclear program is a major source of tension in the world today, as its intentions are not always clear to other nations. There is one more country that is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons, but it has a policy of not officially confirming or denying it. That country is Israel. While it has never conducted a public nuclear test, the general consensus among experts and intelligence agencies around the world is that Israel has a significant nuclear arsenal. This policy of deliberate ambiguity is meant to deter potential attackers without officially breaking the international norm against spreading nuclear weapons. So while we say there are 9 countries, the situation with Israel makes the list a little complex. It's important to remember that these countries have very different numbers of weapons. Russia and the United States have the largest arsenals by far, possessing more than 90% of all nuclear weapons in the world combined. They each have thousands of them. The other countries on the list have much smaller arsenals, ranging from a few dozen to a few hundred, but even one nuclear weapon is incredibly destructive, so the exact number is less important than the fact that the capability exists in these 9 places on our planet. What would actually happen if a nuclear war began? The consequences are almost too terrible to imagine. The immediate effects in a targeted city would be catastrophic. The initial blast would vaporize everything at the center and create a shockwave that would flatten buildings for miles around. The heat from the explosion would be so intense it could start massive fires, creating what's known as a firestorm that would consume an entire city. Anyone caught in this initial blast and fire zone would have very little chance of survival. It would be an event unlike any natural disaster ever seen. The problems wouldn't stop there. The explosion would send tons of radioactive dust and ash high into the atmosphere. This material, called fallout, would then be carried by the wind and would fall back to Earth, contaminating land, water, and food supplies hundreds or even thousands of miles away. This radiation is invisible, but it's incredibly harmful to living things. It can cause severe illness and death in the short term, and it can lead to cancers and genetic damage for generations to come. The world would become a more dangerous place, even for people far from the explosions. If many nuclear weapons were used, scientists believe it could lead to something called a nuclear winter. The huge fires in all the burning cities would create so much smoke and soot that it would block out the sun. This giant cloud of black soot would spread around the globe, causing global temperatures to drop dramatically. With less sunlight, farming would become nearly impossible. Crops would fail, leading to widespread famine around the world. The collapse of agriculture would mean the collapse of our global civilization as we know it. This is why these weapons are often called a deterrent. The idea is that the consequences of a nuclear war are so horrifying that no rational leader would ever start one. The threat of total destruction is what keeps the peace, a concept known as mutually assured destruction. It's a fragile peace balanced on a knife's edge. This is why understanding the science and the global politics of nuclear weapons is so very important for every citizen of the world.